second episode, but actually you will be seeing this first, so that's the funny part of this. This is our episode 10. This is a book episode. Thank God this is a book episode. I can only take so much, Crystal.
I thought when we started this mess, I thought the politics would always be worse and the books would be like the lighter thing we talk about. Man,
Right.
was I delusional.
Well, I mean, this one isn't as, considering what we just talked about. This one isn't as bad.
Lives. Now that was bad.
Oh yeah, A Million Lives is pretty fucking bad. Okay. So, I am Mia. This is our lovely feisty. She's in a feisty mood, Crystal, today. So we are talking about the Booked in Chaos event, and of course, we're going to talk about it because we have 3 or 4 episodes on that Million Lives fiasco with Voldegrace, which is, by the way, Crystal, that's my new name for her, is Voldegrace.
I'm fine with that. When do people get their refund?
Right? People still waiting. Some people have actually, as far as I know, some people have gotten like an automated one from PayPal, but her willingly giving refunds, I think only 3 or 4 people have actually gotten actual refunds. The rest, of course, have gotten shafted, but we're not talking about that today. Today, we are talking about Booked in Chaos.
Yes, Books in Chaos, our most recent that we learned about event that the showrunner is a person. She is a person.
Is a person. That is definitely a word for it. So the organizer of this event is Shelley Bond. And just to kind of give you a recap, this event happened last year. It was very successful from what I heard. I don't know how many people they had. I want to say it was like 50 authors, but it could have been like 25. I'm not sure how many people. I know it was less than like 75, I think. They had a lot of authors. They had a lot of readers. And it's in South Carolina. It's in November. And it was very successful. Like, and everything I've heard before this, and I've actually heard about this event before this, was that the organizer is very pro LGBTQIA, very pro people, book talk, author. So like, and was very supportive of indie authors. So, and last year's event went really well. So everybody was really looking forward to it. They were going to do it big this year. They were going to have 100 authors and vendors and different people show up, and they were working on getting, they had vendors already signed up. They had authors signed up. They had, I don't know if they had narrators, but I know, I think some were planning to at least go, I think. Yeah, so they had a lot of people, and it was, everything
was very successful.
Yeah, so it was something a lot of people were looking forward to because they thought, okay, this event's happened before. It's verified, Crystal. It's verified.
It's verified. The showrunner proved that they are willing to put in the work and stuff to make the thing successful. Unfortunately, this showrunner didn't realize when you have one successful event, when you throw your second one, that doesn't give you permission to be a jackass.
Mm-hmm. So basically, the organizer, up until about, I would say this started happening a week ago, 2 weeks ago, top. About a week ago. Yeah, I think it was a week ago. Honestly, it feels like 2 weeks. There's been that many videos. So
that's what I heard about, I believe, a week ago. To give you guys some context, I'm not going to go full in on this because I'm still waiting to go to this event next year, and I don't want to comment on it till after I have my experience with it.
Yeah.
But I was in the group chat in the Discord for an event I'm going to next year, and people were asking questions, and so far from what I've seen, the event organizers don't seem to be playing games. They're on top of responding back to people with questions. So one of the people in the thing, I was talking to her, and she was saying, everybody, don't go to this event. And if you are, did you make plans to go to the event, see if you can get your money back. It's not a welcoming space. And I was like reading, and I'm like, what do you mean? And then she posted a video. Well, it wasn't a video, but she posted a photo of a Simpsons version with Kamala.
Well, let's hold on before you get into that. Because there's something before that. So, it's okay. What happened is a week ago, Shelley Bond, the organizer of Books in Chaos, had posted a video because evidently across her FY page, she had seen an acronym against COP. And I don't know if it was wishing for their unaliving. I don't know exactly what, because I actually haven't seen it. And I see a lot of shit. So I don't know if maybe it was just her FY saw it because of whatever she watches.
I did look, but I couldn't even even find it.
Yeah, I couldn't, and I looked too, and I couldn't find it either. But supposedly there's an acronym out there about unaliving cops or something, and she was very upset. And so she posted a video. How this started out is she posted a video talking about how she was a first responder. She has a lot of close police ties, and she very much is like, she's a supporter of the cops in her area, and she's very supportive, and she doesn't, and the thing is that she was trying to, like, she was trying to both sides it. Like, it was very clear in the video, she was trying to both sides it. She was trying to be like, oh, well, I'm not supporting the bad cops, but there's good cops. But, like, the whole tone of the video, and I watched the video, the whole tone of the video was, I mean, I think if she had kept it short and maybe just been like, I don't like this whole concept of unaliving people, it wouldn't have been a big deal. I don't think anybody would have gotten up in a ruckus about it, because even if you have strong feelings about what's going on, and I think we all fucking do, right? I don't think anybody's going to be mad at you if you're a first responder or have been a first responder and you have cops as friends. Like, nobody's going to be mad at you that you don't want people talking about cops unaliving. Nobody's going to be upset about that.
She just decided, instead of saying, that's not exactly a good thing, she kept talking. And that was her mistake. She kept
That's the problem. She kept, and the thing is, the tone, like, and I don't even know if I have a word to pin it down, honestly, but the tone of the video, because when I watched it, I was kind of like side-eyeing it. I was like, oh, see, because I'm a healthcare worker, so I'm in healthcare. I've met a lot of nurses, doctors, ambulance people, and first responders are usually EMTs. So those are like, I mean, technically we're all first responders, but like, technically the true first responders are EMTs. They're the ones who are first on the scene. And I believe she might have been first responder, like dispatch, possibly. Anyways, so here's the thing: is that I am sure a lot of them have friends who are cops, and I don't think anybody's out here saying all the cops are bad. But right now, there is a lot of anger and concern about how cops are acting in LA. There's a lot of concern about how cops are acting in other communities when it comes to ICE. So you can't just umbrella it. You can't just be like, well, because the way she was trying to put it, and I watched the video, was that she was trying to make it seem like there's a few bad apples, but the rest are great, and nobody should be saying anything. But it's not like I support. So she did try to say in the video, like, I don't support some of the things the bad ones are doing, but like the way she said it, it was the tone she said it in. And I know that sounds weird, like, but I kind of,
it even felt very, very arrogant when I heard her say it. It's like coming off as extremely arrogant.
And that's the thing, is like the tone of it. It's like, here's my thing. If she had just said, hey, I don't like this acronym that supports unaliving cops, like, short and sweet, I don't think people would have had a problem with that. But then it was like a 20 or 30 minute video where she was just going off. And the thing is there was this vibe in this video. There was a vibe of like that. I don't know if maybe it was the impression of like, oh, all the cops are good and there's only a few bad apples, which, by the way, side note, as someone who grew up in a neighborhood with corrupt cops, which actually you can Google it in Portland, there was a whole bust of corrupt cops near my neighborhood, because we had corrupt cops who were working with gangs and getting paid off, and they wouldn't respond. I mean, and I'm not kidding, we had a 911 call from our neighborhood because there was a pew-pew fight when I was a little kid, and obviously my mom was the one doing the calling because she was crazy. Yeah. And the cops did not show up for 2 hours.
Yeah,
and
that's surprising.
Yeah. So when I say I know corrupt, like, I've been in situations when I was a little kid where there were corrupt cops. So, like, don't get me wrong. I am not saying all cops are corrupt. I don't think anybody's saying that.
That is true.
But
although there are corruption in the police force. I mean, the only reason why I know the police will show up if I call them for help is because I live in a neighborhood with white people with money.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is that I don't think anybody's saying all the cops are bad, but there's enough cops out there. And I want to say, I think think it's partly temperament on their part, but I think partly bad training where they are not taught how to handle shit. And then obviously the police in LA, like there's a lot of shit going down. So right now, there's a lot of people who are upset. There's a lot of people who are like, don't excuse what they're doing. And so her video very much came off as supporting cops, as supporting, like trying to kind of make it seem like everybody else is kind of in the wrong for being upset. And that's how the video was taken. So there were some authors who on seeing that video immediately, like I think pulled out because they did not feel safe, because this event, like I said, before this event had queer authors, had a lot of queer readers. It had a lot of LGBTQIA and a lot of BIPOC. And people pulled out. People were not fucking happy about this shit. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. But
either, because like I said earlier, that person who's in my group that's going to this event next year, that person, when they posted everything, it was like this, the way she did it, she really, it sounded from what I read like she was really trying to warn people to stay away from it. And that's when I saw, like I told you, we're going to get into the photo with the Kamala thing later.
Well, we're going to talk about all that,
Yeah,
well, that's coming up.
And another post with her.
Okay, we're getting there.
But anyway, I'm getting to the point of it.
Crystal likes to fast forward on me.
Yeah, I'm trying to summarize something. But anyway.
So, anyways.
Posting that, and she was like, everybody stay away. This person is not nice. They're not nice and all this stuff. And she showed what she posted. And the second I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness. And then I just messaged Mia because I think you had already heard about it. But I messaged it to you saying, Mia, we got to talk about this.
I know. So I had already shared like 3 videos because I had already had 3 videos pop up where people were pulling out. And then what happened is,
but send it to me yet, but that person was doing that. And a bunch of people in my group, the second they saw it, they're like, okay, we're not going, because there were a few people considered, this is why I'm still getting to this. There were a bunch of people who were going to go until she sent those images, which made it clear this was not a safe space for everybody. And they're like,
so this event was supposed to be held in Greenville, South Carolina, November 15th to 16th. So there's still, I believe there were still people signing up, and there was people who'd already confirmed. So some people pulled out at that post. And then, because this is book talk, and there's a lot of us who deep dive into shit, so a lot of people started looking into the organizer. And what they found is that, and here's the Kamala meme that Crystal was trying to bring up early. When people...
where it began, what freaked me out first.
On her Facebook, because a lot of this stuff is from her Facebook account and her Facebook group, right? She had posted a meme on her. So first of all, on her Facebook account, she follows Trump, and she had shared, and it wasn't just this one post. There were other posts she had shared that were kind of pro-cop, maybe not pro-ICE, but definitely like pro-cop for anything they did, right? So she had shared a few things. Well, then, so people found the Trump thing. So already they're like, I don't want to deal with this. And then we come to the meme. And there's actually a picture of it because, by the way, she's deleted it.
Let's slap up that photo right now because we have it in our notes.
Yeah, so there was a meme she posted, and it was actually from a Simpson episode. And it shows someone who looks like Kamala Harris in a coffin. And I believe it was from an episode a few years ago where they were doing some, Simpsons-like episode with that. And she had posted on it. And here's the thing. The word she put with it was like, Uncle Henry waiting on you to build that box. That's all. And then she posted this. And it's like, first of all, and by the way, when she posted this, it was in like, I think, wasn't it like 2024, 2023? So she posted this. Yeah. So she posted this like when all this stuff has like the presidential elections, all this kind of stuff. So the story I heard, here's the thing. Supposedly she's explaining that away as, and we'll get to her very 6-paragraph statement, okay?
Because that was uncomfortable.
Yeah, she is basically trying to say that she was on a live on TT one night and they were talking about Amish funerals. I don't know. And
funerals.
Yeah, and they were talking about Amish funerals, and she saw the photo and it had another caption that she cropped out. And she said, but it wasn't politically charged. It just fit the conversation. But it's interesting to me that she specifically says in her statements that she cropped out the original statement on that meme, which
Yeah,
makes me
why?
think that it was politically charged,
That's what
and
I
she
feel like.
cropped it out.
That out.
Yeah, she didn't want to be obvious about it, right? Right.
Yeah.
So basically, she had shared this meme, and so people found it. And obviously, if you are a BIPOC author and you see that this white organizer has shared a meme with Kamala Harris in a box, I don't care what the fuck you say to excuse that. It's not happening.
It's
That
not
shit
funny.
does not fly. And I think for anybody who's an ally of BIPOC authors or LGBTQIA authors, you're not going to put up with that shit. That's just, I don't care what excuse you have the fuck for it. In my life, I will never post a meme of somebody fucking in a coffin and not even, I don't even think Donald Trump, because I don't even want his ass
I
alive.
know.
Like,
Yeah, we may get to that point with the white crazy Trump. If he
no,
sent
no,
us to
no.
World War III.
I want to send him to Australia to live in the outback with the poisonous creatures. I've been very clear on that,
Oh,
Crystal.
there are very scary monsters in Australia. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to unalive him. I just want him to be in a convenient place with lots of poisonous, venomous things. I think I was very clear. Anyway, so that happened. So then people found that meme. And I think then people started, searching her Facebook. And there was a lot of kind of the sentiment that, okay, she's pretending to like not pick a side. But I think a lot of people looked at that and said, you know what? There is nothing you can say to excuse this. It is not okay. And especially then you add it to the video, and a lot of authors were uncomfortable, so they pulled out. A lot of, I think, if she already had 100 people signed up, she had at least half of those drop out, at least, if not more. I've only seen one or two people who are still going, and I have some words for them at the end of this too, don't worry.
Yeah,
But
we'll get to that. There is something I want to say.
yeah, we'll get to that. So then, because people started going off, people were fed up. So then they started posting that, you know what, we are backing out. And we don't support bigotry, we don't support hate, we don't support intolerance, that kind of thing. But there's an interesting side note, is that Pack in the Readers, and we're not going to get into Pack in the Readers yet, because that's another event that people are a little wary of. And there's nothing definite, but I have heard behind the scenes that there are a lot of people uncomfortable with some of the stuff on that event too. But I am not going to say anything permanent or for sure. So I am not saying anything about Pact and Readers. I am just going to say that they posted a statement saying how they're going to stay neutral on this, and they don't support that stuff, and that's it, that they're going to stay neutral. And I find that interesting because, again, like I said, I've heard some things behind the scenes about people being wary about that event, so I guess we'll see. That event already happened, actually, I believe. That event just happened, I believe, this last weekend.
Buy more on it, because I think you're right.
But I have heard behind the scenes that there's some issues there, but I haven't seen anybody posting about it yet, so I'm going to look around. But right now, let's go back to Books and Chaos.
Back to Books and Chaos.
Yeah. So back to Book and Chaos. So then, as everything is exploding, people are dropping out. There was one person who I believe is on the team who, and I don't blame her for supporting Shelley, because she seemed like she was very confused. She literally posted, you know what, I know her to be supportive, blah, blah, blah. I'm very confused by all this. And she seemed like she just didn't know what had happened. So I'm not going to go after her with pitchforks, because I feel like if you're on a team of somebody who's organizing something and they do some shit, like, I don't think you can hold the team responsible for her. Now, if they stick around, that's
on a team with that, you're in a state of conflict, because by that time, you may have gotten yourself in it so deep that, if you go right after her immediately, like, this person may feel kind of a lot like we do. I'm not going to say they do, I'm not going to say they don't, but when you think about it, because they're on that team, it's like, okay, I am too deep in. I can't immediately pull out until after this event, so they say some things they feel will appease the situation, because they feel like, well, what am I going to do?
And so like I said, I'm not going to name who it was, but there was somebody on the team who had posted that she was confused, that she had only had good interactions, and so she was really confused by this. So I'm not going to go after her. I'm not going to name her, because, again, I'm not going to blame her for being confused about, because I would be confused too if I was on a team where they were organizing and then all this shit popped up. Because I don't think we all monitor each other's Facebooks. Like, we don't deep dig on people probably enough. Honestly, I feel like you should deep dig on everybody, but like, I think
I definitely don't deep dig on you. I probably should, but I never
look. just ignore the videos of me saying I was promised chocolate and didn't get it. Just ignore those. Those aren't about anyways.
Uh-huh.
So anyways, besides my videos that I need to go delete. So I'll do it after. So Shelly responded, and she responded, I believe, I want to say 2 or 3 days later, where she tried to explain. So her first paragraph, I'm not going to read fucking it. It's like 8 paragraphs, people. But I will say she talked about, it is a lot. So in the first paragraph, I'll just go paragraph by paragraph.
Read a little bit of the first paragraph. I don't think we need to go into the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to summarize. So basically, in her first paragraph, she talks about how they were talking about Amish funerals and how their loved ones are kept in a home until a coffin can be made. And that's why she said what she said. And then she did say, however, it's funny because she tagged people in the conversation. And then she said, oh, several days later, someone came to me, because again, this was last year or the year before. Someone came to her and explained they felt the photo resembled our former VP. And then she's like, oh, I had a conversation and we saw the issue and it was never intended to be offensive. So she removed it. But here's the thing. She talks about how she finds out it's a clip from The Simpsons long before Camilla took office. Can't verify the information, blah, blah, blah. She apologized, blah, blah, blah. But here's my problem with this. Anytime The Simpsons have dumb shit, and by the way, The Simpsons and their future telling abilities, I'm questioning if they're time travelers who make that show, because they have been fucking on point with some of their shit.
Well,
but
with some of it, I'm still waiting for their episode about the revolution to happen.
Right, let's not ask for that yet. So it's interesting though, because here's the thing: whether you knew what it was about or not, it's, to me, when I look at that meme, I immediately see Kamala Harris. I don't see some random black-white person who's in a casket. I see Kamala Harris because it has her haircut. It's in a suit that she was known for at the time. Like, it is very obviously Kamala Harris. And especially when she mentions that she cropped out the original thing, honestly, I feel like she knew it was, and she just thought she could get away with it.
That's what it felt like. I was like, why? Because when I read the thing paragraph, and she was talking about cropping it out, I was like, why would you crop that out? I feel like the entire context of the message would have been lost with whatever thing you were doing, because the message she supposedly replaced it with, or apparently replaced it with, I should say, it feels all kinds of offensive, and I don't.
It does.
Unless she was actually trying to send the message that we were insinuating that she was sending, I don't know how she could have pre-expected people to interpret it otherwise, because it gave me the feeling like people called her out for it, and it hit her in a really bad way. And I guess in her mind, she was acting like those kids who, when they go and they do something stupid and they just expect to be ha ha ha, and it's not a nice thing, the second it comes back to bite them, they have 500 excuses that don't make any sense. Because why would you not expect people to not assume what people are assuming? I mean, that just felt very directly what we're assuming it was. And now you're talking Amish and all this extra stuff. If you were talking Amish and shit, trust me, I feel like that statement would have been different.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is like, even though she's saying she didn't know, and I don't really feel like giving her the benefit of the doubt, but even if I give like a slim benefit of the doubt, when I look at that picture,
any doubts?
It is a mixed woman in a fucking coffin. That is not okay. I don't care what you're joking about, honestly. If it requires you to post somebody in a coffin, especially one who is a very proud woman of a diverse racial background, you should not be posting it. I don't give a fuck. There is no excuse. And especially her, this is why I call bullshit on her reason, honestly, is because she was like, oh, we were talking about Amish funerals. I'm sorry. Anytime I've seen conversation about the fucking Amish, who most of them are white as shit, like, why would you have a woman, and isn't Kamala Harris like
a person, especially in a suit? You're telling me that's what
in a fucking casket.
Most likely meant this from the beginning, because one, you're telling me you were looking at Amish funerals. How come you didn't look up an image of an Amish person in a?
I know.
An actual referential caption to.
I know.
So people would understand what you're talking about. You can't just go find a brown person in a modern day suit and say, "Oh, I'm talking about the Amish." How many brown Amish people do you see?
Right. Right?
Have you ever seen a brown Amish person?
I don't know, Chris. That's why it's like I kind of call bullshit on this first paragraph. Honestly, I'm not. I'm going to be totally real with you guys. I call bullshit because to me, this sounds like somebody who's trying to scramble for an excuse that is so outlandish that maybe somebody will believe her. But I don't. I don't believe you. I don't care. There's no reason.
Far-fetched to believe it.
And supposedly, she is this huge BIPOC LGBTQIA supporter. But like, then why are you posting a picture of a brown woman in a fucking casket? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it, Crystal.
Like a threat, to be honest.
I mean, at the very fucking, and this is what's been consistently said. Her first video was fucking tone deaf. Then you have this post that at the very least is fucking offensive, but like at the most could almost be racist if you look at it. Like, I don't think there's no conversation that leads to you posting a Simpsons picture. And also, by the way, if you're on Book Talk, and I feel like maybe this is just me, I hold people to a higher standard on Book Talk. Some of you, maybe not all of you, I should. But my thing is, I'm an author. I fucking research every fucking thing I come across. How many times have I been in a live, Crystal, and somebody brings something up and I'm like, wait a minute, to the Google I go. How many times have I fucking done that?
Never heard you not do that.
So, like, there's never going to be a time where I'm not. If you tell me something, bitch, I'm going to Google right now.
I mean,
and you're
telling me something. You tell me where you found it and where.
I know.
All this stuff. Like, you even send me the damn literally, people. She sends me the damn evidence nonstop.
I do.
Every day.
I do.
On TikTok and Discord.
So, like,
are sending me messages of evidence.
So you're telling me you're gonna post this meme and you're not even gonna fucking research where it came from? It's called Google image search, people. It's very easy to use.
Not that hard. I mean, how many times do we do that? Even when preparing for how many times do we do that?
Right. So that was the first paragraph. Okay. So that was the first paragraph, Crystal. Then we get to the second where she's talking about how it was posted 7 months before this. And so this was 7 months because this is a current post. This was a few days ago. So she's saying that 7 or 8 months ago she posted this and it was removed 7 months ago and it's resurfaced and she doesn't understand how people could think that she wants the death of brown people. How do you not think that?
I didn't read the caption yet, and I assumed that's what it was.
Right? I'm already like...
did that. I thought, she said, don't trust this thing. She posted this, and I didn't even read the caption yet. Before I read the caption, and she said, don't trust the person, and next thing I know, I see a brown person in cap fit, and I'm like,
yeah.
What is she planning to do?
Just, it's like, if I side-eyed any harder, both eyeballs would fall out. That's all I'm going to say on that. So second paragraph is her trying to say that it was deleted and she apologized and she doesn't understand how anybody could think that she wanted brown people to die. Well, I don't know how they couldn't think that, honestly. So we'll agree to fucking disagree, girl. Anyways, her third paragraph gets into the support the police video. And in here, like, she actually talks about, she's like, I've been called tone deaf, and I can see when you consider the current situation how that can be viewed. However, again, the intent was not regarding current protests. But I apologize if it was taken that way. And I've been the first to call out when an officer is wrong, and I know that police brutality exists. However, our everyday law enforcement should not be assaulted or targeted or condemned. Blah, blah, blah. There's bad people in every group of people. We don't judge the masses based... Well, okay. I mean, it sounds good, but again, it's a lot of like...
It's a lot of like, what the hell? It's kind of, to be honest with you, Mia, when I read it, there's this pastor my mom sometimes will watch on YouTube, not very frequently, because she likes some of his sermons, but she's not a big fan of his sermons.
Yeah.
She was determined to show me one, and he was making a good point until he paused and said, when you see the police, don't be mad at them if they give you a ticket or arrest you, because they are a warrior for Christ. That is what immediately popped in my head. Somebody who panders that hard to the cop.
Yeah. So it's like, here's the thing. I'm not blaming her for supporting the police. Like, and she talks about how she saw this acronym, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, if we're talking strictly especially about talking about unaliving somebody because of their job. That's not okay. I can even agree with that. That's not okay. But again, she does kind of both sides this bullshit as we go on. So like, it's like she's not apologizing for doing it. She's not apologizing for being tone deaf. She literally, the way she phrases is that she apologizes if it was taken in a bad way. And by the way, if it, you can say, hey, you know what? I meant to say that I don't want violence on cops. I'm sorry if it came off wrong. I really was just meaning that. And that would have been a true statement. And like, I think, again, people would have, minus the meme shit, if the meme had never happened, people could probably get over it. But again, the way she doesn't apologize for being tone deaf. She doesn't, she apologizes if you got offended. Like, yeah, and it's the tone of voice. Like it doesn't come off as genuine. And again, we're not in her shoes. We don't know her, so this could be very judgy. But I'm, again, and it's like a paragraph, and you have to dissect it. But like she could have just cut again. Sometimes, and this is me saying this, people. But sometimes, especially like I've had to apologize for fucking up. I have fucked up in my life. I've had to apologize to people, and usually I try to right off the bat, I try to say I'm sorry. I fucked up. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. If it came off that way, I apologize. I really would never want to hurt your feelings. And that is the first statement I make. And I try not to go unless the conversation goes into depth of why the conversation happened. I usually just leave it at I'm sorry. That's it. That's all. I apologize and move on. That's what she really should have done.
Should need to do, even if it's a big type of thing. You think about, let's say it was a big type of thing where you got so mad at me that I couldn't get you your Ghanaian chocolate that you called me a
very upset.
And then later you're apologizing to me. You'd be like, madam, I'm sorry I did that. I got too out of control. You wouldn't be going and keep talking, say, you understand Cocoa Kid's going to get so expensive now, and I couldn't afford it, and you made me this promise, and I just do that.
That's not.
I'm sorry about this. I understand what I did and I was wrong, and I apologize to anybody hurt. She could have done that.
Right.
But she kept talking.
She kept talking, Crystal. And then we get to the fourth paragraph where we're on about the MAGA. Because a lot of people saw that she followed Donald Trump. And let's be real. Right now, if you are progressive like me, if you're a woman like me, if you're a Black woman like Crystal, MAGA is not something you want to be around. Like, if we were two authors and we heard, like, if either of us was signed up for the event and I see that she follows Donald Trump, I'm not going to fucking feel safe there. What are you talking about? I don't
feel safe there. And about that, I would be more worried about I might be safe in the convention center, but what if there's a thing and I'm not doing anything and the police show up? If somebody like that is a showrunner, how do I know she won't falsely accuse me of something I didn't do?
Exactly.
Might not follow me around for absolutely no reason or try to do outlandish statements. What if she wants something I have and then she accuses me of stealing it from her? That's a literal fear that, as a Black woman I have to deal with. But with somebody like that heightens that, because it feels more like, oh, this is more than likely gonna happen.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is like okay, so she tries to explain that, Crystal. And in the fourth paragraph, she goes on about, I've been accused of supporting MAGA because I follow Donald Trump, but also I follow Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And by the way, I feel like it was very deliberate that she mentioned Kamala Harris, because I think she's trying to be like, oh, look, but I support Kamala, like I follow Kamala Harris. So clearly I couldn't have meant that meme, which by the way is kind of sneaky as shit and shady. And I don't approve of that.
People follow Kamala. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're MAGA, there's a good chance that you are following a lot of liberal spaces, because MAGA will not leave us the damn hell alone.
That's true. True fucking story there. So anyway, she's talking about how she feels in the need, in order to educate herself, she should be informed of both sides, which by the way, from an objective point of view, this is like the only thing she said that I kind of agree with, which is you should always educate yourself on all sides of a discussion. But again, that she kind of just, that's the only thing I agree with it here. and then she immediately goes to, but I'm an American citizen and Trump is the president. Here's the thing. You say that you're like, well, she doesn't say she's not manga, which by the way, again, yes, and I've seen these fucking videos where people are like, well, political views shouldn't matter, but they do.
They do.
But they do. Because I'm sorry, you literally endorsed a president who is snatching children from fucking homes. There is no more, you can't be on the fence about this shit. You either support that shit.
A video talking about the issues with ICE. Check that out. It comes up right after this one. But yeah, we're still very steamed and we're not going to stop being steamed.
And that's the thing. Like, you cannot sit here, and this is why I am tired of this bullshit. And I'll be real honest, I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm tired of, especially white chicks. By the way, white chick can get all stop being fucking stupid. Anyways, that's kind of my pet peeve because I'm the
one who's stuck with them. I try to hide.
I try not to be. So it's like when you say like, oh, but he's the president, and there's official pages and blah. It's like she's like, oh, and I follow multiple news outlets, and it's like she's clearly trying to like be like, why just knowledge is. She literally says knowledge is power. And be familiar with current events. Here's the thing: you can be familiar with current events without even following Donald Trump. Just so you know, I keep up on all the current events, and I don't fucking follow his ass. But by the way, in spite of
other people who will subscribe to that True Social bullshit, I do.
Yeah.
They subscribe to True Social just to get his memes and stuff, and they talk about it and dissect it as for what it is. I don't follow him because I don't have to. I can have other people do that for me and let me know what's going on. You can
not even that, but like
not having to follow him. But even all this, you have to reference that.
But here's the thing, like, there's so much shit out there. Like, this is a president who loves the limelight. You don't even need to follow him to know what he's talking about. There's like 20 people covering it at all times.
You don't even have to know what he's talking about because he makes no damn sense.
And by the way, Facebook did try to make me follow him. I saw that shit, Facebook, and I fucking unfollowed just as fucking quick because fuck you, Facebook, for trying to make me follow him. Not gonna happen in this lifetime. Yeah, so it's just okay. And then we get to the rest of the other. Wait, we're on paragraph. That was paragraph 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Why does she keep talking?
It's a lot of. I just. She talks about how like the event has lost a good amount due to twisting of words and assumptions. Sure, people are allowed their opinions and stuff, but we try to uphold. We work diligently on diversity and representation and safe space and blah blah blah. But like again, you posted a brown woman in a fucking casket. Like how, and yes, it was a meme, but I don't give a fuck. That's not safe. I wouldn't, if I had a black friend.
If I wanted you to feel safe, I wouldn't go and send you a bunch of photos of white women in caskets. That's more of a what
right?
Trying to tell me.
Like, if I thought, like, if Crystal had been going to Booking Chaos and I saw that meme, I immediately am fucking DMing Crystal like 2 seconds later. And I'm going to be like, I don't know that you should go to this event because friends look out for friends. And I don't want your ass to go because I don't know what the fuck this chick's going to do. I don't fucking trust it. Don't go. Like, immediately.
You probably messaging me every 30 seconds checking if I'm still an alive person.
Right? I'd be like, Crystal, why are you there? Go home. Go back to your mom.
You know, I would be there with my mother, so you would be royally pissed asking me how.
Yeah, go take your mom. Why are you trying to threaten my favorite person in your family, yo? That's rude. Anyways, so then she talks about how they don't accept bullying and books, and she does say books are political, but I feel like, again, this is just, okay, I feel like
when people say books are political.
Yeah.
Practically every book we read is political.
No.
All this, anyway, I'm getting too aggravated.
She does say books are political, but it's like, again, it comes off as like her trying to excuse her past stuff. But anyways, okay, so she talks about how she lives in South Carolina, her state's a red state, they're part of the Bible Belt, and she's like, I also know how far society has come, and there will always be hate, but we need to show the way, and blah, 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 and if you feel she's, I know. Right, and if you feel I'm malicious, I hold no ill will. I wish you the best. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. It's...
It gets to the point where, when it gets to that part, Mia, it feels like she's treating people like she's stupid. As I read that, I was like, you're really treating me like I'm stupid. Like, I'm trying
and see, here's the thing.
Let's do this. Let's all come together.
Right.
Let's all believe in ourselves. And I'm like, lady, you posted offensive content, and then you're like, let's all believe in all this crap. This is rude as hell and not even addressing the issue. It's more or less treating me like I'm I'm too emotional for bringing the damn thing up.
Right. And then she ends with, we hope to move forward, see you all in November, yada. But here's the thing. She actually talked about this more and okay, but now here's the thing. That response, even as much as I'm going to side eye a lot of it, was not terrible. She's still trying to pretend that the event's inclusive, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't have all this crap, whatever. And so again, this woman talks too fucking much, honestly. And I feel like
she could have saved her ass if she wrote maybe a quick, short apology saying she was arrogant and that was wrong and she should have known better in that moment. That's all she had to fucking do. She could have saved her ass and had people be like, well, maybe. No, there ain't no well, maybe, because she just kept freaking talking.
Yeah. So here is the next response, which the credit for this goes to Well-Read Nurse, who, if you don't follow on TikTok, please do. She posted this on Threads and I believe on TikTok too. And Lo is an awesome creator. She is a sensitivity reader. She is a book talk influencer, and she is very mindful of everything she does. And she is the first, like, what I love about Lo is she will call your ass out. She does not hold back. Yes. And so she is the one who actually, I only saw it because she posted it because, by the way, a lot of these screenshots were kind of on Threads. They weren't really around on TikTok. So if you haven't seen this, go to, I think Crystal will post the screenshots of this. It is very...
Likely will. I really should, because
this is...
the previous statement I'm not going to put on here just because it was too big, but this one I have to, because this is the most arrogant thing a human being can say.
So Lo posted this, and I want to give her credit for finding it because I obviously don't follow this chick on Facebook. I give no fucks. I don't follow her really anywhere. I think I was following Booked in Chaos, and the only reason that has stayed on is because I was curious to see if she would, because you know me, I'm always a person who's like, okay, are you going to apologize on your Facebook? Because all these organizers don't know.
You're better than me, because you give people a chance to say, I'm sorry.
I do. I will. You know what? I feel like you should always give people, even if you don't follow them, even if you want to say fuck off and die, you should always give them a chance to say sorry before you tell them that they fucked up and they suck. I feel like that's fair, but I mean, that's me, I think, being an optimist more than anything else. So, then Shelly decided that she was real mad because people were upset about her first post. So she decided to keep talking, and it's honestly bullshit. This next post, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paragraphs of bullshit.
It up now so you guys can read it as we disseminate it, because and also everybody, you may want a little spicy water if you are an adult, and you better be an adult watching this, but a little spicy water when you read this, because this is extremely arrogant and it is very, very
it's insulting.
It is above and beyond,
and it's offensive. It's offensive and insulting. And as somebody, and I'm not gonna say that, I've had black friends bullshit, like that's not what I'm trying to say, but as someone who has tried, and I'm not saying I've always been perfect, but I've always tried to support BIPOC authors, BIPOC friends, just as much as I'm an ally for the LGBTQA, I'm an ally for BIPOC people too. And I will always try to be as hard as I can. And there are times, I've learned in the past, like, because I remember I had a conversation once with somebody, and they're like, because there was a term I was saying and I didn't even know it at the time, and it had like a racial origin, and I didn't know that. And so I was like, thank you for telling me. Took it out of my conversation list. Like, there is shit. I think as a white person, unfortunately, we grow up with a lot of racial shit in our background. Like, my mother was born in Missouri. So my family comes from kind of a southern state. And, it's like, there's a lot of shit that you learn as you grow up that you don't realize has racial it has a racial background. It's offensive. It's racist. Like, there's shit you don't realize. And so, but here's the thing. You can always educate yourself. There's the internet. There's Google. There's people. I mean, I've never met a BIPOC person who isn't willing to like talk about something and say, hey, this is not okay and this is why. I mean, just the other day, and I'm bringing this up, I'm not going to say who it was, but just the other day, Crystal was trying to help out a fellow author to understand something that was racially sensitive. The person did not respond well, and I was fucking pissed off about that.
I was about to make about what I said to that particular person. I
Yeah.
told them that yes, it is racially insensitive. Now, when I mentioned that this particular thing was racially insensitive, you knew that's all I needed to say. I didn't need to get into the why. If you wanted to know the why, he could have, well, that person, but if that person wanted to know the why and everything else, why when I said that it was racially insensitive, if they wanted to know why, all they had to do was just do a simple search. It does not take that long. The thing I said was racially insensitive. Because, okay, yes, as a black woman, I will mention things that are racially insensitive to me. If it's somebody else and I may say something, they say that's racially insensitive, I will say, I'm sorry, I did not know. And I will educate myself on why. The same way when I say something's racially insensitive, I don't need to give you an explanation. I don't need to go into deep detail. But when people tell you things are racially insensitive, it's up to you to say, okay, I'm sorry that I did that. I did not know. I can forgive a person if they sincerely didn't know. But when someone's told something is racially insensitive, like the person we were discussing, because I did tell them that's racially insensitive, to turn around instead of saying, oh, I didn't realize, but instead to say, just triple down on it and try to defend it. Then you're just an asshole.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that, here's the thing. If something has come up that is racially sensitive and you are told it's racially sensitive, you know what? Like Crystal said, they don't have to tell you why. So I'm a person, I ask questions. So I'm always like, how did this happen? Do you know where this came from? Like, that's me because I'm curious. But like, they don't have to tell you anything. If somebody tells you this is racially insensitive, especially to my people or these people or what the fuck ever, then you say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. And my problem with Shelly in this conversation, in this post she made, and I will read it to you, is that she thinks by using these topics are very, so trigger warning, by the way, when I read this statement, it has very sensitive situations about violence to Black people and violence to Black women specifically. And that is not the fuck okay. And the fact that she thought that she could use these events as a reason to defend herself and her political views, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You do not use someone's fucking death to fucking defend why you posted a stupid fucking, like, that is not okay. I don't care. And this is what I'm talking about. There are a lot of white people out there who I don't think they realize there is shit that when you say it, if you're white, you need to fucking check yourself, because we have a lot of fucking racial fucking shit in our conversation, in our fucking head, that is racist. And I don't think people know it because they don't educate themselves. They don't say, hey, should I say this? Should I not? And anyways, I'm just going to say trigger warning right now.
We're like Harvard when they had to go and correct that email what's her face sent them.
Mm-hmm.
The second we said it, we needed the highlighter. No, we needed a torch and some tar to just burn the whole thing down and tell her rewrite it, and they'll take a sensitivity course.
Right. So anyways, I'm going to read you trigger warning. This is very insensitive. This is actually, to me, honestly, the way I read it was racially offensive. And honestly, after this,
it's going to aggravate you.
After this, if you don't drop out of this event, I am going to have some questions. And there are some authors who are still going, and I don't know.
This, Mia, I am going to say this because we are independent authors. I will make this argument. Certain people, because they're indie authors, may be not able to afford to drop out of the event if they've already bought their tickets, hotel, and everything. But my argument is, if you are still going to this event after all of this, if you feel some kind of way about the showrunner, you can go and not have to defend her. You can make the point, yes, yes, and yes, but please understand from a financial standpoint, I now have to go. But that does not mean I side with this, nor do I condone
I'm going to disagree. And because I'm going to defend, I'm going to say that, here's the thing. I understand it's a financial hit. I understand that. And I understand that a lot of us authors do not have the money for this. But here's my thing. And here's the thing. What I was going to say, sorry, I kind of rushed my statement. What I was going to say is, if you're you're going to this after seeing this statement, after hearing it, then I think you need to question maybe where your head is at. But I understand the financial perspective, but even that should not, like, here's the thing. You should still back out, honestly. And here's the thing. If you went through PayPal, you fucking asked for a refund anyways. I don't care.
The first thing you should do is ask for a refund and see if you can get your money back and not fully.
So that's the thing, is that even if it's a financial hardship, and I understand financial hardships, this is not the place to go regardless. Because, and let me tell you, like I said, I haven't seen this statement in a lot of places. So that's why I'm definitely putting it out there in this. We're going to post it in here. I will post this on TikTok too, because this isn't what she said in this second statement is not okay. So anyways, I'll just get into it.
There's no defending it. There is no excusing it. There is no justification for it.
Yeah. So she was talking about how her name has been dragged through the mud. They're trying to destroy. Yeah, I know. It was a lot of martyr shit in this. People are trying to destroy everything around me. It's been said that I'm against the LGBT community. I'm racist, a MAGA supporter, and I believe even pro-choice or pro-abortion. Granted, none of those things have been... Wait, she's saying that she's not pro-choice?
I don't know. She's the one bringing this crap up, and it's not even necessary.
Wouldn't it be pro-life? Because pro-life is the side that's not... Okay, anyways, I don't even know.
Stop trying to make logic out of something stupid.
Look, I try for logic, even if I don't see it. Anyways, she says, I've done nothing but support over this last few years. I'm fine with you hating me. I'm fine with you making me out to be the bad guy because I know who I am. I know what I stand for. Okay, well, get your tears and your fans out, people. Anyways, so she's like...
Do not try to attempt to punch your computer as she reads the continuum.
Right? Don't hurt the phone or computer. People are looking for a definitive answer. Hold on. People are looking for a definitive answer on if I'm red or blue. The truth is, I am neither. I see issues for both sides. I will always base my actions off of who a person is. Well, honey, if we're basing our actions off of who you are, I know what side I'm falling on. Anyways, sadly, in this current climate, if you are not with one, you are automatically for the other. I simply cannot accept that answer. Oh, okay, so the guy who's locking children up, he could still be a good guy? Is that what I'm hearing? I think that's what I'm hearing.
Anyway. Common sense and get through this thing.
I'm gonna try, Crystal. Common sense. I will always defend you. Anyways, so I simply cannot accept that answer. That is not saying I am a neutral per se. It just means I think so many issues are more than red or blue or black or white. And by the way, she put black or white in fucking parentheses. And I just
like, what the fuck?
I can't with this fucking chick. Anyways, let me continue. What is happening to this country is an absolute nightmare. So of course you're still on the fence because you're confused. Anyways, I'll go on. Common sense. I'm sorry. I partially blame the media, but that's my attention. Yeah, it's well, okay. To be fair, the media is bad.
That rude thing. It's the media's fault that you're like, oh, I don't. Everybody's wondering if I'm red or blue. We aren't fucking wondering if we're red or blue. We're wondering if you just like to say stuff that digs you into a hole. You could have even got out of this shit from the very beginning.
I know.
You kept saying rude things.
I know.
This entire statement is worse than the first one, people. So once again,
I know we're not even to the bad parts yet. I mean, this shit's pretty bad, but we're almost there. So then she's talking about how blind hatred falls on us, the inability to listen. I've posed the question before, and really again, if you cannot have a respectful conversation with someone of opposing views, how do we ever move forward? By the way, interesting. I want to make an interesting comment. Hold on. I want to make a comment here. She literally says, I have posed the question before, well, again, if you cannot have a respectful conversation with someone of the opposing view. But to me, what that says is she might be MAGA and she clearly is trying to cover it up. But like, okay, well, if you're on the fence, who is opposing your view? I mean, exactly. So anyways.
Very grandstandy statement. She's trying to make everybody cry for her, and she's saying very insensitive and arrogant things.
Yeah. Well, here we come to what I think is very racially insensitive. This is the racially insensitive part, and she shouldn't have fucking said it, and it's wrong. It's not okay.
I agree. And you nearly heard me swear twice when I read it.
Oh yeah, Crystal, because Crystal hadn't seen this either, so I showed it to her. So here is the not good trigger warning, racial insensitive bullshit.
Trigger warning. I'm sending up the alert now.
Okay, so Shelley, the creator of Booked in Chaos, continues. when it comes to the undocumented humans, which by the way sounds a little very,
It's
I don't know, that
basically
sounds insensitive.
people.
Right. And ICE in this country, again, it's more than just red or blue. Did you know that just last month a black single mother was killed in South Carolina by 6 undocumented humans? This is the part where not just, and by the way, low Relwed nurse went the fuck off. I completely support that
I
because
completely support
excuse,
it too. You heard me almost go the hell off twice.
I
I was
know,
about to start screaming when I stopped. You told me I could let it out, and I'm like, no, no, I need to not let this woman drive me up the river. I need her causing me to have a heart attack out of pure fury. I
I
mean,
know,
what the fuck? First, she dehumanizes people who are undocumented because that's
yeah,
obviously what she did, and then she's like, oh, black people, side with me. I somehow
yep,
side with one of yours that was brutalized. I'm like, bitch, fuck the hell off. All you are doing is using I'm going to say supposed incident because you are giving me no references, hardcore,
yeah,
with evidence as to what the damn hell this incident
mm-hmm,
is. You're giving me no fucking proof, no motherfucking proof as this incident ever have occurred. You're just saying, black person, undocumented. I'm going to dehumanize the undocumented people and black person attacked. We should all rally. You should rally behind me. Say that person's name.
yeah.
I'm like, fuck you. When we
Oh no,
say their name to remember, that's out of respect to that person who was sacrificed and hurt.
yeah.
You are doing that not to try to figure out say this to support that person, support their memory and any of that. You are doing that for your own motherfucking self-interest, you sorry ass bitch.
And that is all of that I agree with. So
Yeah,
what Crystal, the second part, yeah, the second part Crystal's referring to is that when it finishes, well, it goes on because she just can't help herself.
yeah, we're probably
So
not going
she
to read
says,
it straightforward because it is. Well, better yet, read it because it is enraging.
yeah. So she says, I'm willing to bet only a few, even if that are aware. And do you want to know why? Because it doesn't fit the current narrative. It doesn't fall completely on either side of the argument. It's in the middle, a gray area. So not just one side was silent, they both were. And then she says the woman's name, which to me is very disrespectful because you are literally, and by the way, I'll tell you this right now. And if you learn nothing else about me, be very clear. When it comes to people disrespecting the dead, I am not a person who sits the fuck, and by the way, I'll probably make a YouTube video on this because this shit
You
pisses
should
me the
because
fuck
I know
off.
you're still going to be mad even after we
Oh
talk
yeah,
about it.
this
You all heard me.
I've played a game for years. I played a role play game for years where I did online. It was a writing game where you write a character, you do a bunch of shit. And one of the few things that I would get heated in that community is when people would disrespect players who had passed away. Because I don't fuck around with that shit. I don't give a fuck. If
Exactly.
someone has passed away,
Somebody's memory or use it
yes,
for your own game because that's what it feels
exactly.
like. This
This
person used that person's memory for their own gain.
especially when it comes to just even the bare optics. You are a white woman. The fact that you want, and she uses this woman's name to fucking be an excuse for why she doesn't support both sides and why people shouldn't hate her. You had the fucking nerve to use this woman's name as an excuse for you not being racially insensitive or racist or whatever. How dare you? How dare you? That is not your right. And especially you as a white woman, because I'm sorry, as a white woman who educates myself, by the way, I know that a lot of fucking white women have sat by on the fucking sidelines while our black counterparts, our black women who we should support, and our people have fucking sat on the side and let shit happen. We have let black women, we have let Native American women, we have let Latino women, we have fucking sat on the side and let women of other cultures be raped, be molested, be tortured. Like, we have sat on the sides for a really fucking long side as a culture, as a white person. We sit there and we have let this shit go on. And that's why it's even more fucking upsetting to me because you literally have now just as a white woman used a black woman's death to try to make yourself look good. That is not the fucking job you had. Your one fucking job was just to apologize. Say, I'm sorry, I fucked up, I posted a bad meme, I said some stupid shit, and maybe I was too much in this one video. That's all you had to fucking
That's all
say.
that fucking
Instead,
had to do. And y'all, I'm sorry if I may seem a little too harsh, but she crossed
no.
so many lines that I'm just going to say point blank, this is inexcusable behavior. This is unforgivable behavior. And I can see why that person in my group was going to this event next year was so adamant and trying to make sure nobody went. Like this lady, I'm going to say this real quick. This lady was not only showing the evidence, she was typing saying, also this person's a huge hypocrite. She talks about how she has a friend in LGBTQ, so don't accuse her of this and everything. She talked about, I don't think she saw this statement that we're reading now, but she talked about how this person seemed to just more or less want to use people in the other communities to deflect from herself and her own failings and to stay, to be around her. And I see after me and I did our research, because I knew the second I saw that stuff, this lady is not nice. Well, she's not even a lady. She's a just disgusting person. But I knew from we started doing when I first saw that this person is not nice. But the deeper we got into it, I see why that person in my group felt so strongly to beg people not to go, and if they are going to jump out.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, is that she continues on. I'm not going to say the woman's name because I don't agree with her putting it out there as her reason. It is not her fucking place, and I'm certainly not going to fucking do it. But this poor woman, none of us here, no. So she names the person, and she says, oh, she was murdered on May 2nd. They attempted to rob her. When that was not successful, they pew-pewed and left her for unalive. So tell me, how do I stand on one side or the other? This woman did not deserve to die. She didn't deserve any of what happened to her. She deserves justice. Say her name. Excuse me? The fucking audacity. The audacity of you to use this woman's name as part of your fucking excuse and then be like, say her name, prove that you care. Excuse me?
All the black people, because that's what really pissed me off. Because I know she did that more or less because she figured she could rally blacks and other minorities to her side by saying that. And that's why I got so cheesed earlier, because when I read the first time, you even heard me. You even heard me about to go off the second I read it. And even a moment ago, y'all, I know I got heated. But
rightfully so, though. Rightfully so. Like, oh no, but she continues.
Crosses a line. It's just like, what the hell? Because I know the real reason why you said that. And that is just disgusting. You do not do that.
And so then, because, she's using this woman to still try and make money, which is disgusting, honestly.
Yeah.
Then and by the way, I'm gonna make a YouTube video, or not a YouTube, I'm gonna make a fucking TikTok about this shit. Don't get me started. So
let yourself rant on TikTok later. I fully understand.
So basically, the last two,
read this.
After that whole say her name, she does 2 more paragraphs of trying to use this poor woman as for her money. She's like, I don't judge people off of color, politics, or religion, or blah, blah, blah. We're all human. My religion teaches us we are all flawed, and if he can show us mercy, for those of you who stand with us, we see you, and we appreciate you, and we'll work hard to ensure that this is truly a safe space. Okay, blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. So really, let me summarize this for you. This woman, her first statement was very tone deaf and arrogant and fucking doesn't really apologize, right? And then she got upset because people were upset with her and continued. So then what does she do? Then she decides that she's going to use a black woman's death to save face and try to make some last minute money for Booked in Chaos. That is disgusting. That is not okay. And you, at the very least, you as a white chick should look at fucking history and be like, white people have used black people's deaths before. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I don't know. It's a fucking thing.
Yeah, because like I said, we didn't have time to really look into the incident she is referencing, so we don't know if it's an incident that happened or she's just pulling it out of her ass. But we do know in general, if it is an incident that happened, the way she said it to dehumanize, basically, when she said what she said, she basically dehumanized all illegal immigrants like they're all that way. Because the way she said that was dehumanizing them. And then she used a black woman who apparently was murdered, saying her name, not in the sense of to tell people remember who she is and what happened to her, but it was clearly done in an attempt to deflect any judgment on her. And let's be honest, like I said, this at the end of the day is all about money. Making money off the death of a black woman, which which has happened so many times before. It's obvious she's doing this for money. She's doing this to save her bottom line. And this woman, I'm going to say this. Okay, guys, I normally like to attempt to be more civil on this channel. But you know, we're the free media, and we didn't go to school for reporting.
Right.
Science. Mia went for medical stuff. Anyway, my point is that this person is a very, very just disgusting, despicable human being. She had an event last freaking year, got acclaim, got all the praise from the bookish community. That fool, this fool, sorry little, I'm about to use a Ghanaian swear, I need to stop. Sorry person, was able to get all of this. She could have coached it off of it. Her book event, Books in Chaos, could have been even an event next year, me and I, because we're looking to attend events to help build up the podcast. We would have been like, oh, we need to go to Books in Chaos. You know, everybody's going to Books in Chaos. We would have been all down there selling our books and promoting our podcast and all that. She had opportunity to possibly have one of the big time events that everybody trusts and everything, because she proved herself last year. And what did this fool do? What did the fool do? Go and throw it all away. For what? To be a damn bigot.
Yeah. And the thing is like, you can say that you're not racist, and you can say, I don't support, I don't like, here, I will say that, I don't fucking support either, like, I'm not a fucking fan of the Democratic or Republican parties, but that's how you say that. Say, look, I'm not a side of the fucking Republican Party, I don't like some of the shit the Democratic Party's done, but that's why I'm a progressive. But, like, there's so many ways she could have said this shit without saying anything fucking stupid, and she didn't. Okay. But then, using somebody's death to try to justify your whatever bullshit stance you're trying to take, so you can, because Crystal's entirely right. Her trying to, basically she was trying to rally the Black community behind her so that maybe somebody would come to her event, because, you know, she's gonna fucking lose money. But you know what? After this statement, you fucking deserve the loss of that money. You fucking deserve it. And that's why, because I saw there were a few people who were like, well, she's trying to be, we should be nice. We shouldn't have hatred in our hearts, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. She used a person who was deceased to try to justify why she is a good person and to make money. She literally 2 paragraphs later is like, oh, I please come to my event. I'll try to be, it'll be safe, I promise. So literally you mention somebody who's deceased, and then you're like, oh, but look, come to my event. Come buy books. Excuse me? In what world do you think that is acceptable? That's not. It's not acceptable.
Person I came across, I know I would probably be forcing myself to hold myself back, and if Mia was actually in the room with me, she probably would be ready to be.
Dude,
she probably would not trust the person not to attack me for no reason.
I just can't. I just can't with this chick. Like it's like the audacity. The audacity you have. Anyways, that was her second statement. So since then, a lot of BIPOC authors are upset, fucking not unsurprisingly, and people are there's a lot of pretty much, as far as I know, I want to say, and I'm again, this is a guess, so this is me guessing, but I want to say at least half, if not 70 to 80%, have dropped out that I know of.
The other day, that's on that point. I think people are continuing to drop out because this lady, this person keeps just basically pew-pewing herself in the foot.
Yeah, and so when I go on TikTok, I'm gonna grab Lowe's video and stitch it, and try to, or I'll just post it in my video, because this shit's not okay. And like, I don't understand, Crystal, why we can't. I mean, there's some awesome event organizers. Sinful. There's the beach one in Oregon that I still haven't gotten to, but I want to. There is good events, but like, why are people continuing to fuck up? I don't understand. I don't get it, Crystal.
I don't know. When the Oompa Loompa came back, it made these people who, I'm not going to say we reeled them in, but they did, to a degree, understand the concept of at least trying to save face in public. I think it made them feel, since he's been back, like they have full permission to be their most awful selves, and they full force, and they want all of us to sympathize with them like we're stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand, because it's just a fucking a lot, and I'm just like, I don't get how like and here's the thing, there's a lot of people, so by the way, there's a secondary discussion of people talking about that there's so many events and how do you keep yourself safe. And I think first of all, clearly, as we've seen, even some of these verified events may not be safe. So let's be positive. Let's talk about how you can avoid this. So I would say, first of all, I know we haven't really talked about this, and again, I'm not going to get into details because I'm not quite at the moment of making a video, but I want to, but I'm not going to yet. We're waiting.
We're getting ready.
There is so I will tell you that there was an event me and Crystal were supposed to go to. We've since dropped out, and I was actually going to go. Somebody else had paid for my table. They were very sweet. Love that person, and Crystal had actually paid for her table. And
my friend's table to go.
Yes.
This friend was very excited about going. They're upset that now they can't go, but them's the breaks with this event.
Yeah. So basically, we were planning to go to an event, and one of the things that caused us to drop out was a lack of communication. And there was some other stuff that happened that I won't get into, but if I do, trust me, you'll see it on my TikTok. I don't fucking hide shit. But it was one of the big things, and a friend of ours, Christina, who talked about this too, is if there's a lack of communication in any way, that's a good sign that things are not great. If they are not communicating, if they are not posting stuff, if they are not keeping on top of like, hey, this is what's planned, this is what's going on, we have like at least every 3 to 4 weeks, depending on when the event is, I would say have some concern, right? So that's a good sign to maybe reconsider. Second,
at the event I'm going to now, the host for months, like when the Million Lives thing came out, I was debating whether or not to go. And the people hosting the event I am going to not only posted more information about the event, but gave more details. Every time I have emailed, because I have emailed these people and talked to them in the Discord that they set up to communicate. They immediately respond. It's not like, oh, I posted something and they ignored me for weeks. They immediately respond in 1 to 2 days or 2 hours. And that is probably the only reason why I feel comfortable with the event, because you need that level of communication, because they're communicating with you like that. They are on top of the ball.
So that's the first thing, is communication. If the event organizers, coordinators, whatever they're calling themselves, if they are not communicating and keeping up with you, that's a really good sign that you should reconsider. I would say another sign is go through their socials. I don't know, because look, for this event, nobody, I think, had really gone through her socials until this point. So now that we have, I think that it's clear that it's like, oh, this is a problem, because and then keep going through their socials, because look at this, like, people have now dropped out, and then she kind of showed her true colors. So keep going through the person's socials. Find out what you can know. Talk to your friends. I can't even, because there's a lot of authors who talk to each other. There's a lot of people who talk to each other. Go through, and somebody called it the Whisper Network, which I really liked. Because there is a solid network behind the scenes of a lot of us who talk to each other, who say, hey, maybe you should be wary about this, or hey, this is what I'm seeing. I don't know if you're seeing it, but just a heads up. If you get a heads up from somebody about an event, immediately go check it out. Talk to your friends, talk to your social network, go on TT, say, hey, go on a live. Because another thing is, I know some of the things that we've talked about have come out for these events, came out on lives. Like for AML, we found out all the shit about that chick's first event from a live. So go into a live of people that you know might be associated, listen in, ask some questions. Like, nobody ain't gonna be mad at you having a question. I've had literally the event that me and Crystal dropped out of. I was one of the people who had encouraged a lot of people to look into it and maybe go. So trust and believe when I tell you.
We're hunting down information for that.
Oh yeah, when people came to me being concerned,
the benefit of the doubt in the beginning.
We're
trying to hunt down information, but this person.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, let's not. So anyways, when people came to me with questions, I was like deep digging. I went bloodhound. I was like, okay, I went through every social. I started deep diving. So it's like, talk to your friends, because you're always, I feel like this is a thing in book talk. You're always going to have that one friend who's part FBI, or they're part bloodhound. Like, I do that kind of shit of like, go look up the socials, look around, talk to their friends, talk to the people they know, like, ask questions, because here's the thing, you're never going to get a wrong answer, but you can find out a lot. So if there's an event, like look at Sinful, I will always advertise Sinful because I don't really know the organizers, to be fair, but I have looked at a lot of their videos. I know a lot of people who go, who have interacted with them. So even if I had questions, I know who to ask. And they are some awesome people. The Spine Bookshop is holding an event, and it's her second annual event. And I've talked to some people about it and advertised it, but I made sure this time, after all this AML shit, I for sure fucking verified ahead of time. So that's the thing, is that I think now as an author, part of our responsibility, unfortunately, like we can't just be trusting people. You gotta deep dive. You gotta ask questions, talk to friends. And by the way, again, biggest sign to me, lack of communication. Second biggest sign, I mean, obviously using a dead person to excuse yourself, not a good sign, but like look at, I mean, especially if you're looking for safety for your readers who might be BIPOC or your readers who might be LGBTQIA, look at their socials, look at previous events, talk to people. Like if it's a second or third year event, talk to people who went before. Say, hey, what happened? Did you have a good experience? Because like I said, there's another event that we might end up talking about. And some people have started talking about kind of their experiences. And again, we won't get into that yet, but there's been some things said that kind of, yeah, unless we have to. So anyways, it's ask questions, I think, is the biggest second tip I can give you. Ask around, look at the socials, find out, make sure that everything is what it seems like on the surface, because as we can see with Booked in Chaos, this was an event that a lot of people loved last year. They thought it was great. They were even willing to verify that this person was a nice person, but you know what, shit turned up. But again,
her ass.
Yeah, so I think the two biggest tips I think we can do is ask questions and make sure there's communication. And I think if there's communication and you're asking questions and things are not popping up that you had no clue about, you should be okay, I hope. But I guess we'll see, because this is now the second event that's been fucking ruined for people. So definitely I would say, I'm not telling people not to put your money down on events, but I'm not saying don't put your money down, but I am saying just before you sign that check, before you run that card, talk to people, socials, talk to your friends, talk to Book Talk, go into the live of a stranger you don't know and say, hey, I heard you went to this event. Can I ask how it went? Like, talk to, nobody's going to be mad about people asking questions. I would hope. I would hope people wouldn't get.
When they do get mad, you need to run away from that person because they got issues.
Yeah, right. So anyways, you guys, that is the Booked in Chaos stuff. And
why me and I never go to an event run by this person.
No. And so I would say, first of all, to the authors who had to drop out, I feel really bad for you guys. I am so sorry that you had to spend money on this and now you are out of the question. Also, by the way, there are some people who were like bigger vendors whose names are still on the website and they have pulled out. So please don't lambast anybody for going unless they said that they're still going. And please just be nice to the author people, because there are some people who said, we pulled out and she still hasn't taken our information off the website. So just look around, because people have posted videos. I did see that one of the people was like, yeah, I was getting asked a lot of questions and people were kind of upset. And I was like, but they had pulled out. She just hadn't taken their names off yet. So just as far as I know, the organizer might have updated it. I don't know that she has yet, and today is Friday, June 20th.
We don't know yet.
Yeah, so as the time of this podcast, we don't know yet. But please don't, if you look at the website and you see people who might have gone or might say have signed up, please be aware that they might have already pulled out. So anyways, is there anything else to say, Crystal, other than I'm tired?
All out of our chest. I think reading both of those statements, because I know reading the first statement got us both heated, but we had time to calm down. But the second statement rounded up again, really, really bad. Man. You heard me explode, and even though I explode, I don't usually explode like that.
Yeah. So
it shows how bad this person is.
Right. So anyways, you guys, this is episode 10. Thank you so much for listening. Please please subscribe, and please just take care of your Book Talk people. I think that's all we get. Yeah. Take care of your Book Talk people, and make sure you're looking out for your people, because I'm really glad, because there's a lot of authors, and I will say to all the authors who pulled out, a lot of them said the same thing. They just didn't want to put their readers in an unsafe situation, and I applaud that, and I think they're great for doing it. And just keep looking out for your people. We love love you guys. Please like, please subscribe, and keep listening to our crazy rantings of why people do stupid shit and they won't stop.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we love you guys. Have a wonderful night.
Have a lovely night, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.